Looking at this photo, how many people do you think survived this crash? We'll get to the answer in just a minute. August 2nd, 2005, Air France Flight 358 is descending into Toronto Pearson International Airport after a long flight from Paris. The plane is an Airbus A340 with 297 passengers and 12 crew, totaling 309 people on board. The weather is quickly deteriorating. Heavy rain, lightning, and a very strong tailwind. The crew is aware of the challenging conditions that lay ahead thanks to reports from other planes that attempted to land just moments before Air France 358. As the crew approached runway 24 left, they struggled to keep the plane on the glide path due to the gusts of wind pushing the aircraft upwards and sideways, tossing it around like a leaf in a storm. The plane fought against nature dangerously close to the ground while quickly losing precious runway. The landing gear finally met the runway, 3,800 feet in, with just over half the runway left to stop. The spoilers deployed automatically, and the flight crew immediately applied maximum manual braking and attempted to align the aircraft with the center line. Idle reverse was selected 12.8 seconds after the main gear touched down, and full reverse was selected 16 seconds after the main gear touched down, but it was too little, too late. The plane couldn't stop. At roughly 80 knots, it tore past the end of the runway, bringing anything in its path with it, and finally came to rest in a ravine. So what went wrong? Well, there were a few things. The late landing. The aircraft touched down approximately 3,800 feet down the 9,000-foot runway, reducing the available distance to stop. An extremely wet runway. Heavy rain had made the runway extremely slippery, which would impair the braking effectiveness. It would have the same effect if you were to slam the brakes on in wet conditions in a car on the road. A dangerous tailwind. Landing with a tailwind increased the required distance to stop. The thrust reversers were activated almost 13 seconds after touchdown and reached full reverse 16 seconds later, which was far slower than optimal. Now, in today's aviation environment, it's very likely that Air France Flight 358 would have either gone around or diverted thanks to stricter weather protocols. Modern airline procedures are much more conservative. Pilots are trained to avoid landing in heavy rain, strong tailwinds, or poor braking conditions such as these. If conditions are too risky, a go-around is pretty much standard. And after incidents like Air France 358, airlines updated their standard operating procedures for landing in wet conditions. Now, back to the photo at the start. Out of the 309 people on board, how many survivors do you think there were? Miraculously, everybody survived this horrifying ordeal, with only 33 people taken to hospital.